Hello, and welcome back to the Bright Light Wellness YouTube channel and the Bright Light Wellness Substack. Thanks so much for being here today. Today I have a fun topic for you. Today I'm going to just do another chat about the cell salt Nat Phos. If you're a paid subscriber, you've had the deep dive into Nat Phos, but today I want to chat with you about it for my non-paid subscribers. And it will not be a deep dive like I do in my for my paid subscribers on the Substack here. They get a deep clinical, insight into Nat Phos and how to use it, and all the ways to use Nat Phos. But today I want to talk about Nat Phos, its connection to Libra rising, and this little connection between astrology and cell salts, and how Nat Phos has been so impactful and supportive to me, myself personally. It's one of my favorite cell salts. In fact, it is my favorite cell salt, Nat Phos, or Natrum Phosphoricum, which stands for, anytime you hear the word natrum, that stands for salt or sodium. And phosphoricum is phosphorus. So it's salt and phosphorus together. These minerals are together. And I really love teaching about cell salts because I love teaching about mineral balance in the body, and I love teaching about how this all supports the body, but I also love teaching, of course, about homeopathy and astrology and understanding the system as a whole and how all of these things interconnect together, right? Um, so for me, cell salts kind of invite us to think about what's the deeper pattern we see in the body, what the minerals might be asking for, and how can we support the body's natural ability to regulate and find balance. So Nat Phos, the reason why I love it so much and I want to share with you about it is because it's been so supportive on my own healing journey. Now, I just want to just say before I tell you that cell salts are safe and effective. I don't like that word. They're safe for everybody to use. They are, there's no contraindications. You don't have to worry about like, can I take it if I'm taking medications or other homeopathic remedies or anything like that. They're completely safe to use. Everybody can use them, babies, adults, elderly, children. It's, no problems. And they're like tuning forks for minerals in the body. They help remind the body how to use minerals better. So, using Nat Phos will help your body use sodium and phosphorus better in the body when they eat it from food. So, you may have know that in the past I have dealt with chronic bladder sensitivity, inflammation, and my body's been trying to find balance in its way for a long time. And I've been working with minerals and hydration and nervous system regulation and homeopathy and flower essences and overall cellular voltage and cellular health, right? Um, and the body's always communicating with us. These symptoms are not something we want to silence. They are messages, they are clues to what needs support in the body. And looking at minerals, tissue salts, and also looking at astrology, you know, these are very gentle ways to support the body. And we'll get to the astrology piece in a minute, but let's just talk about what Nat Phos does and why it's been so supportive for me. So Nat Phos is known as the acid alkaline balancer cell salt. So it balances the alkalinity in the body, helps that pH, right? That brings that balance of those things. So Nat Phos is associated by supporting the body's balance when there's a tendency towards acidity. That was my tendency, always very, very acidic. If you're a woman and you ever done those pH strips, I was always acidic. I mean, forever. It's like forever, I've always been acidic. And I'm going to tell you why that is with the Libra connection in a minute. But yeah, it helps bring this back to balance when somebody is too acidic. Um, when you're too acidic, you might notice things like digestive discomfort due to acidity, like heartburn or like sour burps. There might be some sort of burning sensations in the body, like burning in the stomach, like heartburn, but it might come up. There might be burning in the bladder, like the bladder can be too acidic, burning in the gut lining, that can be too acidic. It can become to like joint issues. It can also come like acidity in the joints, right? Uric acid in the joints. All of these things are pointing to there's a lot of acidity in the body. And I do all the quantum biology stuff, and I still was acidic, by the way, in a lot of ways. Um, so what I love about not Nat Phos now is that it's not going to force the body like a proton pump inhibitor. It's not going to override the system by suppressing symptoms. It just supports the body's own intelligence. So it's something natural that you can use to help bring this acid alkaline situation back into balance. Now, what I said is I wanted to talk about the Libra connection because it's so important, is because it gets interesting here, is because when we talk about astrology and cell salt teaching, each zodiac sign corresponds to a cell salt. Nat Phos is associated with Libra. Libra is associated with balance, harmony, equilibriums, finding that middle ground. They tend to be people pleasers because they don't want to move anything off of balance. They want to keep it in harmony and balance. And they're also about fairness and justice, right? I am a Libra rising. And when I learned about astrology, I learned that your rising sign is A, how people see you. People see me as a peacemaker, probably people pleaser, people, someone who wants fairness and balance and harmony. This is true about me. But it's also the way that when we're under stress, how our system might come out of balance, basically. So when I'm under stress, number one, I want to find the peace in the situation. I want to fix it. I want to bring the fairness. I want to bring the harmony. I want to bring the balance. And also when I'm stressed, I usually become more acidic. That balance of that acid alkalinity kind of goes off track. I become more acidic. And that makes sense because I've been through, I mean, who hasn't been through stress and been through stressful things in their life? I mean, really, right? Been through a lot of stress in my life, and that makes sense now of why that was happening, right? Like that in my natal chart, that's really constitutional. It was showing how that all connected for me, and I found that really, really deeply interesting. So, astrology is just another language for patterns, really, and what's going on in the body, and we can look at these patterns through homeopathy, through tissue salts, through astrology, and they can give us all these perspectives about what's happening, different tendencies of things that people will struggle with, strengths, weaknesses, and where we need more balance. Now, the amazing thing about using Nat Phos, I've been using Nat Phos since about, I would say, October. And today it's end of July that I'm making this video, and I have noticed that number one, my digestion is better, my bladder symptoms are better, and that the burning situation is better. And really just feeling really good in those directions. No heartburn, which is something I would suffer with from time to time, things like this. But the most amazing thing about using Nat Phos for me personally is foods that I would usually have to avoid, like tomatoes, tomato sauce, pineapples, oranges, orange juice, these kinds of things, these very, very acidic fruits. I would have to avoid them. And I was just saying to my brother the other day, like, he's like, you can eat these things now? I'm like, yeah, I can eat them, no problem. Because pineapple was the very first food that I could not eat. It would cause a bladder flare. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was like so sad I couldn't eat pineapple anymore because my acid alkaline balance was out of whack. So anyway, my point is that you can absolutely get to the bottom of this and eat these foods again. So I can eat these foods without, I'm drinking orange juice every day. I can eat these foods without an issue anymore by just, I'm keeping Nat Phos in because why not, right? I guess there's a time when I won't need it anymore, but I still feel like I need it. But it takes a long time for the body to really replenish these things. Anyway, that's my point about all of this. So I just wanted to share that because I really think it's important for us to know that there's an alternative to proton pump inhibitors here. You can go and use Nat Phos. So I teach a lot about astrology and cell salts, right? In two ways. If you want to learn more about cell salts, or if you want to learn more about astrology and cell salts, I teach this. Um, I teach this on my cell salts course. I have a course. I will link it here below for you. It's a separate course that you can buy. I think there's 3 videos on this course now, and it's an ebook that comes with it. And in the cell salts course, I teach about the 12 tissue salts, the traditional indications for each salt. There's much more to say about Nat Phos that I didn't, how to recognize patterns, how the salts, go into or relate to constitutional themes, the astrology connection I bring in, and practical ways to use them in everyday wellness, including like a pregnancy protocol and like if you have this ailment, try these 2 salts, like all of that. That's all in there. So I bring the science of this, the traditional wisdom, and the energetic perspective all together in that cell salts course. So if you want to learn more, totally check out that cell salts course. It's a great place to go. Now, the next next way to learn more about cell salts is my Substack. Okay. If you're not a paid subscriber yet on my Substack, Bright Light Wellness, if you're listening on here, Or if you're listening on YouTube, hop over to my Substack and definitely join the free version at the minimal because you'll learn a ton. But also, you can join my paid subscriber and you get access to my full video library on cell salts. So when you look at my website, my Substack website, there's a whole tab on cell salts and there's 12 videos plus more. But there's minimal at least 12 on each cell salt that are locked for paid subscribers. So you get access to that. So you can also become a paid subscriber and learn how to use cell salts. Okay. And in that cell salt series, I break down, what they're traditionally used for, key themes, practical applications, much deeper connections, all of the astrology connections, all the indications, how to use them. I'm even recording one on my pregnancy protocol coming up. I'm recording one on more practical uses, just for like if you have this condition, you want to use these two cell salts. You have this, use these two cell salts. Like I want people to use these because I think they're just so powerful and we don't realize how much they can support our health. You can, of course, also book in a tissue soul consultation or a homeopathic consultation with me. If you want to just dip your feet into homeopathy, you can do a tissue soul consultation. If you want to do a full homeopathic session, I will recommend cell salts typically in that. So there's many ways to learn more. So you got the course, the cell salts course, the Substack, of course, where if you're a paid subscriber, also you can book in a consult with me and I can, see what tissue salts you need. I look at the astrology connection as well, if that's what you're interested in. You can also, try it. You can try it. If you want to explore Nat Phos on your own, you say, I do have a problem with too much acidity. I do have heartburn. I do have burning pains, right? You can go and check it out. I recommend Best Made Natural Products, cell salts. I will put a link in the description below. I personally use these cell salts. I trust them. There's good quality there for sure. We've interviewed Miro so on our podcast, so you can find that in the link in the description below as well. And if you're new to cell salts, I always recommend learning about the different salts and understanding the patterns rather than just choosing random remedies, right? Really understand yourself. So, cell salts are a really beautiful way and natural way to remember that the body's certainly not broken and that the body is just communicating, and we can learn the language of minerals, homeopathy, and even astrology to, gain another way to listen, right? And Nat Phos is a beautiful example how this theme of balance, something I think many of us are searching for in the modern world, is this theme of balance. Like, how do we find balance in this world? So I think that would be a great, great thing to think about. How do you find balance in your life? So let me know your questions, comments. What do you need to know? What do you want to learn more about? I'm always open to suggestions, but I did want to just remind you that you can learn more about cell salts on this Substack. You can also get the course, try them out. I'm a big proponent of them, and I want everybody to know how to use cell salts in their home. It's only 12. It's an easy first step of learning homeopathy. And as a practitioner, if you have my cell salts course, you can also start recommending them. Remember, there's no contraindications. There's nothing to worry about. You're not going to harm anybody with cell salts. All right. Have an excellent day, and I will chat with you guys on the next episode. And let me know if you have any questions. Please, I'm always here for questions. And yeah, have a good one.